Can I borrow your club here for this little discussion we're about to have? All right, so come around here, guys. So, pre-shot routine, post-shot routine. Like, what's the purpose of having a routine? Like, what's the number one benefit?
Preparation.
Preparation to do what?
Have a good shot.
To have a good shot, right? To increase the likelihood of making our best swings. That's why we do this stuff, right? So, I've got 4 different steps I want you guys to consider when building your routine. And a couple of the steps are on the pre-shot side. We got 1 step on the post-shot side. But the 4 steps are decide, communicate, elevate, and be cool, right? So I'm gonna quiz you guys on those 4 steps when we're done, so make sure that you're listening, right? So every routine starts with a decision, decide. You know, you get behind your ball, you look at your target, and you decide how you want this whole thing to go down. It's not like standing on the tee box going, oh, you know, out there would be cool, or in the fairway, I'd take that, or on the green, I would take that. That's not specific enough, right? So if we're going to unlock our gift and our skill for hitting amazing golf shots, we have to have a clear picture of what that shot is supposed to look like to begin with. So Jason Day, he's a Nike athlete. He hasn't been playing a ton in the last couple of years because he's got some back problems. But he started getting a lot of people noticing part of his routine a couple seasons ago. Does anyone know what that was, what he would do?
Taking a lot of deep breaths.
He would take,
Close his eyes. Yeah, good.
yeah, exactly. He would take, you know, a deep breath. We call that a cleansing breath. Right? So if there's anything that you can do to reduce a little bit of stress, right, calm you down, it's always breathe, right? So make sure that you're breathing. But to your point, he would stand behind his ball, look towards his target, and he'd close his eyes for a second. Then he'd open them, and he'd walk in to hit the shot, right? So he was just having a little daydream of how he wants this whole thing to be. Everyone knows how to daydream. We've all been sitting in like science class, that was mine, right? I'm looking out the window, it's a beautiful day, thinking about wanting to play golf, right? That's daydream, right? So we all know how to do that. So over each shot, you know, you can close your eyes, you can keep them open, but just try and picture exactly what you want. Start line, height, curve, how the ball, you know, behaves upon landing, right? It's like a preview of coming attractions, right? So always start with step number 1, which is decide. Once we make that clear decision, now we're going to communicate to our muscles a rehearsal swing that we think is perfect, right, to match that vision, right, to turn that vision into reality. So step number 2 is communicate. Decide, communicate. So if I'm trying to hit a little draw, well, I'm going to have to feel a swing that would be perfect for hitting more of a draw. If I'm trying to hit the ball a little bit lower, right, I have to rehearse a swing that will be better for keeping the golf ball down, right? So wherever you are, make sure that your movement matches the picture, right? Decide, communicate. All right, step number 3 is what we call elevate. People are at their best when they feel their best. How you feel is a product of how you are thinking in that given moment, right? So you guys have played a lot of golf. Can you remember a time where you've been over a shot where you just knew you were going to hit it good and you did? You're like, oh, this is going in. Like you stand up to a putt and you're like, I don't know what the deal is, but that hole looks like it's as big as a basketball hoop, right? You walk up, 10-footer, boom, that was easy. You know, golf is easy, golf is fun. You've probably been on a tee box somewhere where you're like, gosh, this hole just looks so tight. And you're walking in there with like a high grade mood, right? Feel good vibes, and the game seems easy, right? So we've all had that experience. Conversely, I know we've all had the other experience, the opposite experience, which is you're standing over a ball and you're like, this ain't gonna go well, right? And then you hit it, and of course it doesn't, right? It goes in the trees, goes in the water. Everyone had that experience, right? So the only difference between like the easy shot, right, for you, where it felt like effortless, and the challenging shot where it felt like nothing's gonna go well is how you're thinking in that moment. Because all of your emotional states come through your thoughts. So when we say elevate, that just means I want you to walk into the golf shot thinking of something that makes you feel light, that makes you feel free, that makes you feel like there's no place you'd rather be than right here, right now, hitting this shot on this golf course. You know, golf's not something that you got to do, it's something you get to do, right? So the more we're approaching our golf shots with positive thoughts, thoughts-based, and a little bit of gratitude, like how lucky are we to be out here chilling at Pebble Beach? My goodness, what a beautiful day. This is perfect, this couldn't be better. See ya, right? That's way better than being over the shot going, there's water. No water and bunkers. Oh, well, ball's going over there anyway. You know, one of you is going to meet this golf ball, right? That's not what you want to be doing, right? You don't want to walk up to your shot and go, gosh, look at the lie that this ball is in. Hey man, can you believe what happened to me? Hit it right down the middle, it's sitting in a divot, right? We can't walk in with those ideas, right? Because we're not going to have access to our gifts, right? The cool thing about this is that the stuff that you entertain up here, it doesn't even have to be true. It just has to make you smile, it just has to make you feel good. So let's say on the last hole, you 3-putted for 8. Nobody wants that score on their card, but it happened, right? So you can either walk up to the next shot thinking, well, this round was going good until the last hole, right? Start projecting like, gosh, 8. I mean, I'm gonna shoot like X, Y, or Z, right? So a lot of times people, they have a bad hole and all of a sudden the entire round goes south because they feel like they can't get those strokes back, right? But if you walk into the next shot, you think to yourself, you know what? This is perfect because the last time I 3-putted for 8, I followed it up with an eagle or 5 straight birdies. Doesn't even have to be true. It just has to get you in that mindset like, hey, game on versus game off, right? So you got to be able to do that over and over and over again, right? Through your thoughts, create the mood that's going to give you the best access to your gift. One of our mental toughness mantras is create the state, don't wait. Right? That means use your thoughts to create that high grade vibe that you've already told me you've had in the past over previous shots. Right? You don't have to wait for that to happen. You don't have to wait for good stuff to occur before you feel confident about your skill. You can create confidence through your thinking any time you want. So if I ask you, where does confidence come from? It doesn't come from seeing success. It doesn't come from, oh, you know what? I had a really good practice session this last week, and now because the golf ball is doing what I want, now I feel like I have permission to feel confident in my abilities. Right? You could do it that way, but that would be waiting for something to occur, right, to permit yourself to feel awesome. And that seems like a huge waste of time because that positive thing with that attitude, it might never occur. But if you understand that confidence is an emotional state and all emotional states can only come from one place, and that is your thinking, well then happiness, sadness, frustration, confidence, they're all the same, right? So if you can walk into every shot thinking of something that makes you feel light and free and excited, you know, full of gratitude, right? Then you're going to be able to tap into the gift that you all have to hit amazing shots. So it's all about increasing the likelihood of doing that. Create the state, don't wait. Confidence comes from in here, not from stuff that happens out there. Make sense? So decide, communicate, elevate. Right? So now we're teed up for success, so to speak. Does all that guarantee I'm going to hit a great shot? No, right? So after the ball leaves the face, we're just going to be cool, right? That's a straight pull to the left. That's in the bunker, that's left of the green. But the thing is, that's not a bad shot. In fact, good and bad, they don't actually exist until we decide that they exist, right? So from now on, instead of good, bad, good, bad, good, bad, which is going to make my emotional state go up, down, up, down, up, down, Now we're going to view shots as either online or offline. It either went towards my target or it went somewhere else, right? But there's no emotional like disappointment or reaction to not getting what we want. And in golf, we've all been conditioned, right, through watching other golfers play from a very young age to act or react in a certain way. Oh, if your ball doesn't go down the middle or at the target or near the hole, well, that's a problem, that's bad. So now I gotta be upset about it, right? Being upset is a choice. So Shakespeare, I don't know a whole lot of Shakespeare, that's all I know. He said, nothing is either good nor bad until thinking makes it so. That just means that things or outcomes, they just are. Right? This is a golf club, this is grass, those are golf balls, that's an orange flag, my ball is in the sand. It just is. None of those things are good or bad until I decide that they are, right? So when you hit a shot, if you can just stay neutral with the outcome, you're taking the first step towards emotional mastery, which is what we call mental toughness. Now, if you're truly mentally tough, you're going to try and come up with some ideas as to why having your ball in the sand or having your ball in the trees is not only not problematic, but actually the perfect place to be. Right? So if you think about like highlight reels, who likes a good highlight reel? I love highlight reels, right? YouTube, PGA Tour, highlight reel, LPGA Tour, highlight reel. It's not like a bunch of people standing in the middle of the fairway with a perfect lie from 100 yards, hitting the ball this close to the hole. That'd be the most boring highlight reel ever. Where's the highlight reel from? Trouble, from the trees, right? So if your ball is in the trees and you walk up into that shot thinking like, all right, I guess we can try and just hit it back into play and take my medicine. Or you walk in and you go, oh, this is perfect. I got a little window there. I got a sick little punch hook I know I can hit. Oh my God. When I pull this off, everyone's gonna lose their mind, right? That's like rising to the challenge. That's seeing the opportunity to do something cool, to do something awesome. Heck, when Bubba Watson won the Masters, right, with that little hooky punch wedge, out of jail down the right-hand side of number 10 at Augusta, I guarantee you, everyone on earth that was watching that playoff was just like, oh, he's done. His competitor's in the middle of the fairway, first playoff hole, he's in the trees. What are we having for dinner, right? Fire up the steaks. But Bubba walked in there and he just said kind of what I said, like, oh my gosh, this is perfect. This couldn't be better. When I pull this off, the whole world's gonna go nuts, right? The highlight reel is not from the middle of the fairway. Hitting those shots, opportunity to do something fun, exciting, opportunity to shock the world, right? And that's how top athletes think, right? They understand the correlation between how they think and how they feel and what kind of golf shots that they hit, right? So basically, 4 steps. Step number 1 starts with a D. Decide. Decide how you want things to go down. Have a little daydream, eyes open, eyes closed, doesn't matter. Make it specific. It's like your preview of coming attractions. Step number 2 starts with the C. Communicate. Communicating to your muscles the swing that would turn that image into reality. Step number 3, super, super important. It's all about your mood. Starts with an E, rhymes with communicate, elevate. Walk in there feeling like a boss. No place I'd rather be than right here, right now. Boom. Golf is awesome. Golf is fun. Positivity, gratitude, versus the victim's mentality. Can you believe what happened to me? I'm on a golf course, right? Be different than everyone else. Everyone else is conditioned to be miserable, right? Being miserable is a choice, right? Be the difference, Be the advantage that you can be through using your mind in ways that serve your ability to be awesome, right? Because I guarantee you that 99% of the people you're competing with, they're not doing this stuff, right? They're at the mercy of their perception, right? Take control of how you think. See everything as an opportunity versus a penalty, right? And you'll be out there hitting better shots. And then of course, when we don't get what we want, last step, yeah, just be cool. Nothing's good or bad until you decide that it is. It's either online or it's offline. If it's next to the hole, it's just next to the hole. If it's in the trees, it's just over there. Okay? Don't go up and down, up and down, up and down just because everybody else does, right? It's not helping you. And if you can do that over every single shot for 18 holes, then at the end of the round you go, you know what? Maybe I didn't have my best stuff today, but that number on that card, that's the lowest I could have gone because I didn't beat myself through, negative lines of thinking or patterns of thought that get me off my game, that diminish my ability, to demonstrate my gift that I know that I have, right? And at the highest level of competition, difference between winning and losing, it's like 1% to 2%, right? So because you guys are in the advanced program, you guys are gonna go play golf in, college and maybe beyond. And the tougher the competition gets, the more stuff like this becomes really, really important. One shot a day is 4 shots over 4 rounds, right? That's the difference between making cuts and missing cuts, making dough or not making dough, having a career or not having a career. And that's why everyone that cares about their games, right, they really spend a lot of time on things like this. All right, so let's go ahead and hit some shots. We'll talk to you about your swings a little bit if you got some more questions. But let's try and go through that process. Hit some different shots, pick some different targets, decide, communicate, elevate, always be cool.